Hey guys, what's going on? Welcome back to the channel. I am Starco Gaming and we are back with another Marvel Future Fight video. Guys, Black Friday is coming. 50% off on all uniform sale pair with a crystal spending event is coming. We should have the announcement tomorrow morning, well, at least from the time I'm recording this video. So guys, today we're gonna go with the list of uniform I do recommend people to get, guys. Obviously, some people will have much different lists than mine. That is normal, guys. There are so many good uniforms. There are so many choices. Personally, I selected 11 uniforms that I think that people should get if obviously they have built the characters. But let's just say that, guys, before we even get started, if you have a characters you're working to get to tier 4, I mean, his latest uniform is always the way to go. Like, for example, Black Widow is not going to be on the list because her uniform is getting too old, but she is one of the best tier 4 in the game with that uniform. That does not change it. But, I mean, we cannot put everybody on that list. We try to stick to what's the most affordable for players and not what's actually, the craziest. But because people is getting a bunch of tier 4 anyway, they have the crystal to actually get a bunch of uniforms. I mean, pretty much all the uniforms that gets released. So those people, we don't want a recommendation for them. We want a recommendation for people who actually save for every Black Friday, every anniversary to actually do big uniform purchase at 50% off. So we're going to start, guys, with the first uniform I have on my list. I think this first uniform, guys, is probably one of the most important. So here we're going to go, and it's actually a combat character, guys. We're just going to find the character here on the list first, which I am so blind as always, guys. That is totally normal here, guys. So combat, I am really blind. I really cannot see that character. So we are just going to enter part of the name. Now people probably know who I'm talking about. There we go, guys. This is the character. This is the uniform. This is probably the most complete combat female uniform in the game. You have a great leadership. If we actually get, let's just get the potential up here. There we go. So we have a great leadership here. 60% physical attack, increased physical attack for combat type character. We have a tier 2 passive here. Is it the tier 2 passive or it's a uniform bonus? Oh, it's the tier 1 passive, gas. Applied to allies with strong ability, increase all basic attack by 25%. So she is a great lead. She is a great support, and she is a great solo character for new players, for players that trying to get better in ABX, ABL, WBL, maybe not ABL, but WBL, ABX. Definitely she is a must-have characters for that, guys. She is a great solo character. She does great support characters at the same time. And I mean, she's just amazing, and she is free to play friendly. You can get her biometrics from the shop, actually from Shadowlands biometric selector. So she is probably one of the best uniforms to get on this Black Friday, guys. Now let's move to the next characters, guys. Next we have a speed characters, and obviously this is going to be Shuri. Shuri, the advantage is that not only, again, she is a great support character, but she is a great solo character. Can score almost as much as McCary in ABX, which is outstanding. Can do about the same work as McCary in a Wall Boss Legend. Great support for ABX, ABL if you have somebody else like a tier 4 Black Widow. Great support for WBL if you don't need to use her as a DPS characters, but she can do it all, guys, without single doubt. If we look at his tier 2 passive, increase basic damage dealt to super villain faction by 55%, which is actually pretty outstanding. But she can do the damage, she can do the support, she is good at everything. Probably a much better support than the other one, Stania. But as a DPS characters, they are probably pretty even. Maybe Shuri is a little bit stronger, but not by that much. So it's a great characters to get. I actually must-have characters. Support characters, guys, is always must-have characters, must-have uniform, especially when the support characters can actually be a DPS at the same time, which is very, very, very freaking useful. So that's uniform number 2. Uniform number 3, guys, we are going in Blast character, and we're going to talk about one of the best tier 4 in the game, Iron Man. You want to go with this back to basic uniform, obviously. If we get that up, so many clicks to do. He is a great DPS character. It's probably one of the best DPS character in the game. Maybe not the best, but one of the best. Like, for example, in ABL, I can score over 7 million with him. Not a lot of characters can actually do that in ABL. In World Boss Legend, I mean, he is a killer. In ABX, he can cap. I mean, he has everything that you need for a DPS characters, and still, for me, he is still my fastest clear in GBR. With that uniform, with the Rage or Reforged Rage is going to be doing the job. I have Reforged Rage, that's why I mentioned that. But he is a crazy good character, guys. Definitely recommend this guy. If you have him at tier 4 or level 80, you want to get his back to basic uniform without a single doubt. Now, if we move to the next characters, guys, I do not have a lot of practice with this experience with this character, but Captain America back to basic, guys, is so many freaking uniform. This dude is one of the best character in the game. Better than Venom, better than Moon Knight as a combat hero. So it's a huge advantage to have him. Can do very great in World Boss Legend event at level 70 or 80. Can do very great in ABX, ABL. I mean, this is a guy to have, guys, on your roster if you plan to get him to level 80. Definitely a must-have uniform. I mean, so much better than the Captain America 3099 uniform I was rocking for 2 years almost. I'm really happy with the new uniform I got on Captain America, and definitely this is a very, very, very solid character. It looks like, guys, the back to basic uniform series is actually going to be meta uniform when they get released, from what I've seen so far from those uniform. Okay, next, guys, we're moving to another combat character, the best PvP, second best PvP characters we're going to have on the list today. We have Hulk Fear itself. Well, Hulk Fear itself can do 6 million in ABL, can do 10 million in ABX. Which is actually pretty strong. Can clear a GBR under 4 minutes still, even after the what people like to call nerf. I mean, he is a meta in the PvP. He has probably the most complete characters we have on the list today, guys, because of the PvP and pretty much all the PvE. I mean, World Boss Legend, ABX, ABL, GBR, he is a killer. Timeline Battle, he is a killer. Alliance Conquest, he is a killer. I don't know about Alliance Tournament. I don't play Alliance Tournament yet. So, I mean, he has everything. This is definitely one of the most important uniform to get as a new player. If you can get this guy to level 80 with his uniform, even at level 70, he is a massive guy to have on your roster as a new player or as a veteran without a single doubt. Now, we're going to move to a uniform that is more exclusive than the other uniform, guys. We are going to be going in first. I have to find the guy. This guy, Adam Warlock. This is a pure PvP uniform, by the way, guys. This guy is the #1 PvP character in the game. So if you do have Adam Warlock, guys, don't forget, guys, Crystal Wall characters going to be on sale on Black Friday too. At least usually they are, so you are able to get those characters for cheaper. I think it's 40% off or 30% off on the regular price for them, plus 50% their uniform. But Adam Warlock, best PvP character in the game. I mean, there's just not much else we can actually say, guys. This guy is for PvP. Full pledge PvP. You're not going to be doing great in the PvE with him, although you can still do some decent work. It's just not great work compared to everybody else on this list. But yes, Adam Warlock, best PvP character in the game. If you get to uniform for PvP, that's definitely Adam Warlock and Fear itself, Hulk, without a single doubt, guys. Next, guys, we have another combat character, Namor. Namor is for ABX, ABL, the best combat supervillain character in the game at the moment, guys. Better than Hulk, without a single doubt. Namor can cap in ABL, can cap in ABX, can do crazy work in World Boss Legend and GBR. I mean, this guy for PvE has it all. The only reason why I will put Hulk above him is that because Hulk is the most complete combat supervillain in the game. But if we go as a character, PvE-wise, Namor is stronger than Hulk without a single doubt, guys. And if you did not pick up the Black Bolt uniform when you had a chance, he's probably the only guy that could potentially cap for you in ABL, to be honest. So it's definitely a must-have uniform if you have this dude at tier 3 or plan to get this dude to tier 4 without a single doubt. Now, the next one we have is an old school uniform, guys. Yeah, that happened once in a while. We do have those old school uniform because, I mean, they are still valid, and it is Supergiant. Supergiant because most people did not pick up the Enchantress, Morgan Le Fay, not Enchantress, but Morgan Le Fay uniform, guys. I mean, this is still the best universal supervillain in the game, guys. Female universal supervillain in the game, so must have for ABX, can be useful in ABL. And is still very, very solid characters for World Boss Legend. I think people should have these characters. Also, she can do great work in Island Conquest. Not in Timeline, not in Island Tournament, but in Island Conquest, she can do very, very solid work, guys. So overall, she is a very solid uniform. I think if you have Morgan Le Fay, you completely forget about her. But if you don't have Morgan Le Fay uniform, guys, she is a must-have uniform on your roster without a single doubt. Now we have another freaking universal characters, guys. We are going to, obviously, we're not going to forget about Hulk. Even though his uniform is kind of getting old, I mean, that does not mean he's not a good character. Thor is a crazy good characters for World Boss Legend, crazy good characters for GBR, ABL. Can actually do a little bit stronger than Wanda, but not very much. And Universal Hero in ABX. So PvE-wise, this guy can cover all the bases, guys. Everywhere in PvP, he is going to be able to perform very, very, very well. So he is definitely a recommended uniform. Even if you only have him at level 80 with a normal judgment, which I do, I believe. So it's the normal judgment I have on him. He will be able to do crazy work for you. Like, personally, I can clear Mephisto 3900 seconds with him, with only him at level 80. So that just showcase how strong this uniform is, guys. And this character is at level 80 plus. So yeah, definitely a uniform I highly recommend for you guys to have. So next, guys, we are going back into the combat faction. If we can find the characters I am looking for, at some point I will find it. We always find the characters, and this is this one. Another, guys, Thor Love and Thunder uniform with Valkyrie. Valkyrie, similar to Shuri, is a great character for both as a damage dealer and as a support character, especially if you have her artifact that makes her so much stronger. Artifact is like having an insight, plus you can put an insight on her if you want to use her as a support character only, and you are going to be destroying shit with her. But she's also a great solo character. She can do very good in ABX by herself, World Boss Legend by herself, but our best use is triple swap in ABX, and then support in World Boss Legend, GBR, and ABL. That's where you're gonna get most use out of her. Her tier 2 passive is awesome. It's 55% damage done to supervillain faction plus a 35% ignore dodge, which is actually very, very solid, guys. So this is a must-have uniform if you have Valkyrie. to tier 2 or transcendent, you want to get this uniform for her to make her stronger. And the last uniform is not going to be a uniform that most people think, but this is a uniform I do believe is a must-have uniform in my book, guys. If I can find the character again, I am so blind. I am so blind, guys. So let's go with that here. And she must be in a Blast character originally. Yeah, she was a Blast character. Okay, so that's why. So it is Wanda, Doctor Strange 2, guys. This character is a killer in Wall Boss Legend, maybe not as much as the most recent tier 3 characters or as level 80 characters, tier 4 characters, but she is still a killer in the Wall Boss Legend, guys. As good as Supergiant, if not slightly better than Supergiant. She covers 2 ABX Day, Universal Hero, Universal Female Hero, and she covers 1 ABL Day too, guys. So, I mean, PvE-wise, she covers so much ground and still is relevant as for today, guys. So, in my opinion, she is one of the must-have uniforms for PvE. For PvP, she can do a little bit of work in Island Conquest, but not so much, guys. This is really a PvE uniform, and in my opinion, guys, she make it to rank 11 in the top 11 uniforms to get for the game, because if you ever you want to use her, and she is a total monster with that uniform. Now, guys, this is the 11 uniform I do recommend you to get on Black Friday. The 11 uniform that if you have the characters, you want to build the characters, those are the uniform you actually want to get on Black Friday when the 50% uniform sale is going to be live with the Crystal spending event. That's my recommendation. Obviously, guys, some of you will have different opinions. Some of you will think differently, which is totally understandable, guys, and it is correct. You know, it is right to have different opinion than mine. I'm just sharing what is my opinion, what I will do if I were in your position. But I mean, this is entirely up to you, which characters you want to build, which characters you want to use, and all that, guys. But if you think I forgot to really important uniform, guys, that could be useful for people, make sure you comment which uniform and why in the comment section, guys. And I'll say if I agree or not. If you think there's a uniform on my list that people should not be getting, tell me why and which uniform in the comment section, and I will react to what you guys think. But anyway, guys, Black Friday is coming. The uniform sale shall be starting probably on Thanksgiving, if I remember right. Usually it starts on Thanksgiving because it's the 25th in some country, starting on that day. But I mean, we're going to have the post tomorrow, guys, announcing all the events. So make sure you keep an eye out on the forums for that, guys. Anyway, guys, hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thank you for watching. Thank you for being part of my amazing community. You all keep enjoying playing Marvel Future Fight. Happy Black Friday sales, guys. And I will see you guys again in the next video. Thank you.